The Iranians were on their way to a nuclear weapon. They mastered the nuclear fuel cycle when George W. Bush was president. They built covert facilities. They stopped them with centrifuges, and they were spinning away. When you're faced with something like that, and you know Iran is already dangerous enough, if it has nuclear weapons, my gosh, what will happen? It will also provoke all the countries in the region to get their own nuclear weapons, and boy, are we then in a world of hurt. So I put together the sanctions, the international sanctions against Iran. It took me a year and a half. I had to get China and Russia on board. Then finally we went to the Security Council of the UN. They passed it. And we were able to put those sanctions on, enforce them, and force Iran to the negotiating table, where we got an agreement that put a lid on their nuclear weapons. That is a lot better way to try to prevent war and prevent nuclear proliferation than any threats or belligerence. And of course we have to enforce it. I have said repeatedly, enforce it to the letter, distrust and verify. But we are safer because we've got their highly enriched uranium out of Iran. We have shut down some of their facilities. We have taken out their centrifuges. We have to watch them, but diplomacy worked. And the final story I'll tell you. I was in Cambodia, and Hamas was shooting rockets into Israel again. And the Israeli government called and they told me, we can't just sit here and take these rockets. They won't stop. We're going to have to invade. I said, wait a minute, I'll get there as soon as I can. I flew from Cambodia to Israel, landed in Tel Aviv, drove to Jerusalem, started meeting around midnight with the security cabinet, trying to hammer out what we could do to get Hamas to stop this provocation. And here was the challenge. The only person in the region left with influence on Hamas was the Muslim Brotherhood president of Egypt. So we finished working with the cabinet in Israel, and then I flew to Cairo, where I negotiated with President Morsi, and we finally got a ceasefire, and we avoided conflict that time. But here's why I'm telling you this. In addition to the fact that that's what you have to do, you can never give up, you have to keep working at it. Imagine we have somebody running for president, or heaven forbid is president, who spends his time insulting Muslims, and we're supposed to do deals with them to end wars, to get rid of ISIS through a coalition. It will make life a lot harder, believe me. That is a risk we cannot take.